What is going on, guys? My name is Tubby, and welcome back to more wrestling discussion. We're going to talk about some stories such as Eric Rowan finally being cleared to compete. Kurt Angle was backstage at SmackDown last night. Unfortunately, I think he left before the show happened. You know, other big stories such as Mauro Ranallo missing SmackDown Live, and now commentators from Impact Wrestling and Taz are calling him out. What's that about? And more. All the links to the stories are in the description down below. You can click them and skip ahead to the part of the video. So before I get started, I want to let you guys know of an announcement. I've created a new channel called Ready, Set, Life. For those that don't know, I was a bigger guy, almost 500 pounds. You look at me now, you're like, holy crap, you're still fat. Yeah, but he's like 200 pounds lighter. And that was all with a mindset change and everything. And, you know, wrestling is life. Wrestling is everything. Like, I can remember my favorite moments in wrestling. But over the past 5 years, I kind of just let myself go. And not even just letting myself go in the past 5 years. Just finally realizing what it takes to eat healthy and be normal again. And I want to share everything, you know, whether or not it be like the wrestling stuff behind the scenes or me accomplishing new goals. So I would love if you guys would go check it out and subscribe in the comment section down below. So let's get right into it. Eric Rowan has finally been cleared to compete. Hey, where does Eric Rowan go now that you have Luke Harper trying to get in the fold with Randy Orton and Bray Wyatt? Although I don't think they're going to do it now. You have Randy Orton and Bray Wyatt last night, kind of further the storyline between them, and Luke Harper was nowhere to be found. Luke Harper had made the comment that he's going to have to go and make a WrestleMania moment or a match for himself now. Whether that means interjecting himself in the triple threat, which I'd love to know what you guys think. Should it be a triple threat? I think it would be cool, but at the same time, I want that psychology match fest between Randy Orton and Bray Wyatt, like Bray Wyatt and John Cena had a couple years ago at WrestleMania. I think that's the kind of match I actually want between them. That's just my personal opinion. You have to let me know what you think in the comment section below. But where does Eric Rowan go? Does Eric Rowan try to show up and help Bray Wyatt and Luke Harper takes him out? Or Luke tries to go after Bray and then Eric comes to save the day? And it's like Eric versus Luke at WrestleMania? I don't know. I don't know if they're going to get thrown into Battle Royale or whatever. I'd love to know some speculation on what you think could possibly happen. So then, this is kind of, I don't want to say it's necessarily a big story because with the snowstorm, safety always comes first. But you had some former announcers throwing some shade at Mauro Ranallo. Mauro Ranallo is a very busy guy. He does a lot of shows. I love Mauro Ranallo. He's probably one of my favorite announcers. He brings a big match feel to everything he does. With that being said, though, last night's show, not hearing Mamma Mia and a lot of crazy expressions, although I freaking love them, it was kind of nice just to have a normal change of pace with JBL and Tom Phillips. But the shade that Taz and Josh Michaels were throwing were basically like, listen, you know, we drove 2 days in a snowstorm once. And Taz was like, man, you can't do that. You get heat for not showing up, man. Mauro lives in Canada. He knows about the weather. If you know there's going to be snow, you have to be traveling a couple days ahead of time. This is a once-a-week job. This isn't like other jobs. You get paid a good amount of money to show up and be there. Like when Raw was canceled because of the weather, the whole world weather for everybody getting there, I think it's a lot different than people speculating like the travel stuff. Like Mauro is a huge part of that booth. Now, David Otunga was already gone because of filming a movie, so it would have been a 3-man booth. But that's what I was trying to say. Like a 2-man booth just felt good. Whether it would be Mauro and JBL or JBL and Mauro, whether it be JBL and Mauro or like Mauro and Tom Phillips or whatever combination of the two, I really do like a 2-man booth. Now, there are times where I find myself going when David Otunga's on commentary, like, I actually kind of dig David Otunga. So I think from a 4-man booth down to a 2, it just felt normal. It felt good. There wasn't so much competing lecturing going on. There wasn't so much white noise to follow, and that's one of the reasons I really enjoyed it last night. And because Mauro, in my opinion, he is great on pay-per-views. Like, I feel like every match he calls feels like a pay-per-view. But not every match is a pay-per-view. Do you know what I mean? I don't know if you guys get that fatigue. Does anybody have Mauro fatigue? Where I absolutely love him. I feel bad for even saying this. But some matches really don't have that big fight feel. And Mauro is like that big guy. Like, he's the guy I want calling WrestleMania because he knows what's going on. He knows all the references. But as far as the shade goes from Josh Matthews and Taz, I actually think they're right, man. Like, you have a once-a-week job on Tuesday. Like, you could have went out on Sunday. You could have went out early. But that, again, I'm not going to throw shade at Mauro because everybody's travel situations and everybody's life is different. Maybe, like, flights were canceled, something happened. But unfortunately, he couldn't make it to Pittsburgh. But with that being said, Taz brought up a good point. You got a guy like Tom Phillips chomping at your heels. Minus the whole incident with Tom Phillips that happened, you have a guy like Tom that he's trying to work his way up the ladder. He's done a bunch of stuff in WWE, and you got Mauro not showing up. So what does that mean? I think Mauro, the point Taz was trying to make was you're going to get heat for it. Regardless of who you are, where you are in the pecking order, not showing up and missing a show, you're going to get crap for it. If you remember all the stories from past WWE superstars and legends and people, that when you do miss a show, they do kind of look down on it. So I'd love to know what you guys think. Is it a bad thing that Mauro missed? Should he have drove early? I'd love to know what you guys think in the comments. So then there was big speculation on Shinsuke Nakamura. Everybody is hoping for a call-up. And I think people would lose their mind if it was Shinsuke Nakamura versus AJ Styles at WrestleMania. I think every match you see on the WrestleMania card now, it's Shane. But if they said the word Shinsuke Nakamura, the building would just go crazy. Could you imagine Wrestle Kingdom recreated in WWE, Nakamura versus AJ Styles? I couldn't even wait. But the story and the speculation right now, the rumors go that the download poster festival that NXT does, he's not on it, and that usually takes place in May or June. So basically, it looks like Nakamura is going to get called up, which absolutely makes sense. I cannot wait to finally have Nakamura on the WWE roster, get him out of NXT, bring him up. With that being said, I think NXT does need some help now. I think NXT, while they do have a lot of the main people on the roster, it is kind of a big deal that they really have to start developing a lot of the superstars they're trying to create in-house. You can only go through signing so many guys and have them come through NXT so quick and then eventually get called up. You're going to need to start really developing some of those talents you're working on. I'll just say this. If Nakamura gets called up and we get a pay-per-view match at WrestleMania, I'll lose my shit. And I'll just I'll run around everywhere and I'll just lose my mind. I just want Nakamura at WrestleMania. That'd be sick. Just not in the Battle Royale. Please don't put Shinsuke Nakamura in the Battle Royale. He's worth so much more. Just keep him till the Raw after or SmackDown. Guys, does anybody actually want to see Nakamura in the Battle Royale? You want him at WrestleMania, but I'd rather keep the surprise in the pot for a Raw or a SmackDown than the Battle Royale. Let's just be honest here. And then the match, this is actually one of the matches I'm super excited for. So on 205 Live last night, they crowned a new #1 contender for Neville's title. And you knew it was going to be Austin Aries. You knew A-Double, once he had that orbital bone fracture and it kept him out of action. They were so smart to put him on the commentary table, similar to what they did with CM Punk. Austin Aries is great on commentary. Him interviewing people is great, which ultimately led to the situation with Neville. And the fact that we're getting Neville versus Austin Aries one-on-one, that is the WrestleMania match you want. We talked about Nakamura versus AJ Styles. You want a big match like Neville versus Austin Aries. With all the triple threats, the tag teams, the big marquee matches between Brock and Goldberg and things like that, you want a match like Austin Aries versus Neville that can tear down the house. And I hope to God it's not on the pre-show. This deserves to be on the main card. This deserves to go a good 15, 20 minutes and just allow them to tear down the house is what I think they should do. So the fact that Neville is the #1 contender, I'm so excited. Now, I will say I was kind of hoping for a 6-man cruiserweight ladder match. That way you could get in all of the cruiserweights and you can make a huge deal out of the division to replace the Intercontinental Championship ladder match to allow all those cruiserweights, the high flyers, to get all the exposure they need. And it's one of the things I've wanted. Unfortunately, we're not going to get it, but it's not the end of the world because Austin Aries versus Neville, honestly, it might be one of my most look forward to matches on the card. I am so pumped for that match. Once I watched 205 last night and it was confirmed that it was Austin Aries, I was hoping they wouldn't try to pull a swerve with Tony Nese or something like that. Not that I don't like it, but it was always going to be A-Double in my opinion. It was always A-Double, double A, and I'm just excited, man. I'm WrestleMania is shaping up. For those people that weren't excited about Shane taking on AJ last night, after everything that happened last night, I'm more excited for it than I was before. If it just would have been Shane stepping up to AJ, you don't have an opponent, okay, it's me. The fact that now it was AJ being the aggressive one, I said in my build back in September, Cena would come back to be the aggressive guy, piss off AJ so much that now AJ's trying to take it out on somebody. He took it out on Shane. Looked great. Even if there's a little bit of fake blood, I'm not going to speculate on any of that. It was rad, in my opinion. I'd love to know if you guys like the AJ Styles and Shane, or if you're more excited for the match now that what happened last night. Let me know in the comment section below. Also in news, Lucha Underground is finally on Netflix. For those of you that don't have access to El Rey or other things, season 1 and 2 are finally on Netflix, which I am so pumped about. I'm going to go binge watch it probably within the next 2 weeks. I'm moving in a week, so it'll probably be finished up there. And then I'm just going to binge watch Lucha, because Lucha Underground is not a wrestling show. It's a TV show, and there's a difference. It's built like a TV show. You can watch it without having to like watch Raw and SmackDown and all the cutaway scenes. You don't need all the little stuff. It's a self-contained TV show. It's made as a TV show. And that's why I love it, because you can storyline, you can script, you can plan it all the way out, because it's filmed like a TV show all at once. You're able to plan it all out. And yes, there are some spoilers that leak, and unfortunately it may kind of wreck it, but that's it's one of the shows that spoilers don't matter, I think, because even if you know who's going to win at a Lucha Underground taping or spoilers, you still want to watch the show, because it's not like Raw or SmackDown, right? Like, it's not like NXT where even if it gets spoiled, you still want to watch it. Lucha is a step above that, in my opinion, because all the scenes they film, whatever they do outside of the actual show, makes it stand out, and I love Lucha Underground. Like, I watched pretty much all of season 1, and then I watched the first 3 episodes of season 2, and then I didn't watch anything more than that. And now they're already on season 3. So it'll be very interesting to see what happens, especially with a lot of the contract superstars in Lucha Underground. Possibly, I want Ricochet in WWE. A lot of the speculation is that the contracts run for 7 seasons, but because it's like a TV show, they tape like, 2 a year, something like that. So it'll probably be another year and a half, maybe 2 years at max, until some of the superstars would finally be out of those contracts. And I can't wait to see some of them, because let's be honest, if you watch Lucha Underground, if you've never seen Lucha Underground and you have a Netflix account, I highly suggest you check it out. And highly, like 100%, like Daniel Bryan, yes. Like if somebody asks me, should I watch Lucha Underground, Tubby? Yes. Please watch Lucha Underground. I promise you won't be disappointed if you're a wrestling fan. You're going to see a lot of crazy stuff, a lot of great TV show wrestling, and it really makes it stand out. You don't have to worry about, there were some injuries at the tapings, but you don't have to worry about like somebody getting hurt 6 months later. It's all self-contained, and it's just rad. And last but not least, it's the new comedy show or comedy show, wrestling show, whatever it is, Southpaw Regional Wrestling from WWE. They put out a teaser trailer, which you guys can go watch. The link is in the description as well. Basically where it looks like old-time wrestling from the 60s, 70s, 80s, and it's like in the VHS player. So in the trailer they put a cassette tape into a VHS, and then it plays, and then it goes all old school, and at the end, you have John Cena in the wig, and he's like announcing, and I'm like, and all the comments I saw were like, it's better than Monday Night Raw. So I'm excited. This could be one of the things on the WWE Network. I don't know if this is like a one-off thing. I don't know if this is a weekly thing. I don't know what this is other than the trailer. But Southpaw Regional Wrestling, I'm interested. I'm intrigued. You got my man Rusev in there with the long hair with Lana. It's gimmicky. It's villainy. If you are a fan of old school wrestling, it seems like that's what it is. And that is rad. I'm excited for that. So I'd love to know your opinions on everything I talked about today that mattered to me, something I wanted to bring to you guys. That'll pretty much wrap it up for today. Like I said, I have a new channel. If you want to go check it out, please go subscribe to it. Until next time, it's your boy Tubby Moo, and we'll see you all later.